Hey everybody, glad to see you back. Let's cut the crap and blast off into the top 5 sci-fi series you need to see, part 4. Number 5, Earth Star Voyager, 1988. So what else is new? Earth is dying and it's up to the kids to save it. Kids with genius IQs and exceptional skills to pilot Earth Star Voyager to humanity's last chance of survival on the planet Demeter, 18.7 light years or 26 years away. So you can see why the military is robbing the cradle for this mission. The crew consists of Cadet Commander Jonathan Hayes, Jesse Beanie Beanstalk, the computer ace and super genius Wonder Boy, Dr. Sally Arthur, MD of Space Medicine, and yes, that's a thing, Huxley Wells on navigation and onboard Casanova, the stud who's gained the interest of Priscilla, the ship's supercomputer, and Luz Sanson, communications officer, to name but a few of the main characters. The mission is revealed to them by Captain Forbes. The crew departs, and their first challenge is to safely navigate the junk belt. Jonathan Hayes guides Earth Star Voyager and shows his mettle by manually steering the starship through the belt of space junk, suffering minimal damage. This is the least of their problems. Captain Forbes is jettisoned in a clear-cut case of murder into space whilst inspecting the damage. Lanny, another communication specialist, reveals her suspicions about psychiatrist Dr. Leland Eugene, who's notably from the X-Files and the Lone Gunman. Suspiciously, Lanny slips into a coma during a cryo nap, and it's obvious that someone is engaging in some dangerous slant dickery, thrusting the crew into peril. The young crew are set to their paces, but it's a stroke of luck that they find Captain Jacob Jake Brown, who has been lost in space for 6 years after Vanguard Explorer, a deep space exploration ship, which he commanded, was damaged during his first officer Vance inciting a mutiny. Captain Brown assumes the role of mentor for Hayes and his crew. Holy crap! Years in space seems to be the least of the crew's worries. The ship and crew are pawns in a massive conspiracy orchestrated by Admiral Beasley, who's in league with the OTZ, Outlaw Technology Zone, to corral the Earth Star Voyager into the assembly of modular ships, a powerful juggernaut. To wit, the Voyager is a piece of this dark puzzle. Beasley has been pulling the strings all along, starting from selecting the Voyager's young crew, creating the Shell, who are perhaps a more rudimentary forerunner to the Borg, and conspiring with Vance. Despite the Admiral's slimy efforts, he fails on all accounts when Hayes devises a solar laser to fry Beasley's warship. Even though Earth Star Voyager is a 2-part TV movie, I'm gonna let this one slide as a series because it's more than one. It's also a fun, imaginative adventure worthy of viewing. And by all accounts, it's well crafted and armed with an engrossing plot. The movie's creator is Ed Spielman, who breathed life in the TV series Kung Fu. Number 4, Dream Corp LLC, 2016. Not only is this one on the fringes of medical science, but I guess it could be considered sci-fi. If we pretend that this subversive, gross, and infinitely funny series could slot in as an honorable mention, well, that would be great. Besides, this is just in your mind. Literally. Dream Corp LLC, a limited liability company.
Welcome, patient, to Dream Corp LLC.
Whoa! Holy shit!
Underscores the extent of the unethical practices that take place in Dream Therapy Hellscape, located out of sight in a dilapidated strip mall, somewhere where the sun never shines. Definitely not the Mayo Clinic, but I'd suspect that there's Mayo all over this dodgy institution, curdling in corners. Dr. Roberts' innovative and questionable method of therapy only attracts the most desperate patients who are blindly unaware of the risks they are accepting. Dr. Roberts inserts himself into their dream state as a guide via the horribly infected USB port surgically installed in his hands. Dr. Roberts might look vaguely familiar because he's portrayed by John Grides, aka Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. Patient 88 is one such poor sucker whose erectile dysfunction leads him to the LLC. Dr. Roberts offers 88 the worst possible option, a job at Dream Corp to pay off the costs of his failed treatment. And the job is Dr. Roberts' prescription to 88's noodle boner. Randy, a mouth-breathing deviant and agoraphobe who's not seen the light of day in years, takes a shine to 88. 88 discovers that the cure is far worse than the disease. Terry is the robotic best friend to Randy. Terry, voiced by Stephen Merchant, is moody, often questioning the value of his existence.
Try to do the best for the ones you love.
But but he has the best singers.
I've got the same mug with your mother on it. Hey-oo.
Ahmed is the psychotropically chemically fueled nurse, and each season the assistants transition from Joey, Bee, and Margot, respectively, in this order. LLC isn't for everyone, but for those who like this degraded retro-futuristic black comedy, well, the worms turn for you, my friend. Produced by William Street, Dream Corp LLC has been stylistically compared to Terry Gilliam's Brazil and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and the rotoscope artists who created Waking Life and A Scanner Darkly animate the dream sequence therapy sessions, and they're rather beautiful and trippy. When you squeegee away the viscous slime, Dream Corp LLC is a brain hemorrhage of brilliance. Truly funny, imaginative, sometimes poignant, and always disgusting.
Ooh.
So, it's a little lo-fi sci-fi, if you ask me. What do you think?
Wow, wow.
Number 3, Alien Nation, 1989. Like alien human cop buddies Gallagher and Beck from The Hidden, Detective Matthew Sykes and Detective George Francisco are taking on crime and knocking down barriers. That is, when Sykes isn't throwing his partner around, and or vice versa. 250,000 Tenkanese slaves, or slags, crash in the Mojave Desert. I suspect they escaped from their generational captors, the Overseers, and are left to assimilate into American life, overturning the melting pot in the process. George Francisco and his family move on up from the squalor of Slag Town to the burbs, and the Joneses clearly don't approve. Neither does Matt Sykes, the hard-nosed cop who George is paired with in the LAPD. Alien Nation is a drama-soaked look into the crime-ridden city, where the blood flows pink on the streets. Each episode tackles obvious societal and racial problems under the guise of alien and human relations. You know, like in the movie. However, each of the episodes delve under the skin and explore some truly entertaining and dark aspects of crime's new complexion. The episodes focus on Sykes and Francisco's work and personal life, straddling intense and endearing cop buddy moments. Attentive to detail, Sykes and Francisco's characters have room to breathe, providing deeply satisfying glimpses into what makes each of them tick, with a lot of hijinks to boot. Like, spoiled milk is booze for slags, Sykes' anger issues, Kathy is Sykes' slinky neighbor and lovely love interest, George balances parenthood and police work, his son joins an alien chapter of Sha-Na-Na and gets into deep shit, Uncle Moudry, the hairless hippie who wears his favorite LA Raiders shirt and acts as a beacon of guidance to his family members. There's a lot to relate to here. After all, the aliens aren't worlds apart from their human counterparts. Whatever your opinion of the Alien Nation series, it brought together two colliding worlds in a captivating police drama, with many layers of vastly different characters and their struggles to adapt to a brave new world. Number 2, Stargate Atlantis, 2004. Giorgio A.Tsoukalos would give his right not to be on this expedition, the Atlantis expedition. The Stargate movie and TV series opened the door for legions of sci-fi fans as they followed a clandestine international group of scientists, specialists, and military candidates that slipped over to the Pegasus galaxy. Uncertain that they will be able to return to Earth, the lure of ancient knowledge and superior technology compels the risk. And besides, they can just figure out how to return to Earth whenever they want from the other side. Easy peasy. This expeditionary force hunkers down in the fabled city of Atlantis, using the Stargate to explore other worlds, encounter new cultures, and get into their fair share of firefights, primarily with the Wraith, a gruesome-looking race whose appearance is only outdone by their vampiric hunger. They grab their meals from hapless victims, leaving their quarry mummified like those poor suckers in Life Force. To meet these challenges, it's key to bring a complement of your best people. Lieutenant Colonel, later field promoted to Major, John Shepard, turns out to possess the ATA gene to activate the Stargate Lazy Boy. Shepard is a decorated soldier, but an act of valor to save his men in Afghanistan landed him in hot water with the brass. His tough and humane qualities set the tone for his evolution on the Atlantis mission. Dr. Elizabeth Weir heads up the assignment. She's a diplomat and the official commander of the expeditionary force. She's level-headed, but the character is a tad flat, to no fault of the actress, Tori Higginson. The chief science officer, Rodney McKay, is among the most interesting characters here. A grab bag of idiosyncrasies. Some annoying and neurotic, but damn, he's brilliant and funny. Qualities the Earth Force will require to figure out how to defeat the Wraith, unlock technological mysteries, and find the means to return home. It was a large cast that was revised during the show's 5 seasons. Some later additions included Jason Momoa, Robert Picardo, Jennifer Keller, and so forth. Stargate Atlantis managed to accomplish something that's pretty neat. Richly fleshed out characters set on their heels in a strange universe, fighting for survival while keeping up the procedure of scientific discovery. And action. There's loads of action. Case in point, the battle over the planet Asuris, as the Wraith and Earth forces team up to battle the Replicators, a civilization of nanites and a formidable foe. To be honest, apart from the movie, I never did watch a single second of the Stargate series up until now, and dang, SGA is a very entertaining show that benefited from being the follow-up to SG-1, enjoying the cementation of the mythology already installed, and from what I hear, it's a faster-paced series than SG-1. So, looks like I'll be following the remainder of the Atlantean crew's adventure with fresh eyes, and I'm keen to see how this tale resolves itself. Number 1, Falling Skies, 2011. I get the occasional burst of flack in the comments section about the term forgotten, which requires a pinch of salt to take, but this entry seems to fit perfectly with the term. Falling Skies was a well-received and richly crafted alien invasion series that ran for 5 seasons, having been nominated and winning countless awards along the way, including the most exciting new series in 2011. However, after the season concluded, it seems that a form of amnesia clouded the memory of this show. The show's setup was standard. Aliens, the Esphani, arrive and spank humanity so hard that we're left with one option of winning back the planet: guerrilla warfare. But the plot thickens along with some startling revelations about the alien invaders, as well as our alien liberators who arrive at the end of Season 2. The story picks up 6 months after the devastating invasion. The last remaining humans band together and form the Second Mass, a ragtag fighting force. Tom Mason and Captain Dan Weaver lead the Second Mass and face the horrors thrust upon them, like the Esphani practice of abducting children for unknown and nefarious reasons. Each episode in skirmish with the Skitters, the arthropod soldiers of the Esphani, unveils more intrigue and jeopardy to our resolute heroes. Each step forward presents complications as the Esphani acquire Earth along with the host of other worlds in their rotodecks. But that is until the Volm arrive at the conclusion of Season 2, as I mentioned earlier. A friend in need is a friend indeed, even if they're not human, which makes the collaboration that much more evocative. Cochise explains to Mason his people's origins. They were enslaved by the Esphani but rebelled and have been engaged in a campaign of vengeance against their prior captors. However, the Volm-Esphani war still wages, and the bulk of the Volm forces egress Earth to engage Esphani forces in a larger conflict. Cochise and his forces remain on Earth and aid the Second Mass to liberate the planet. I won't lay down any spoilers because I don't want to ruin it for anyone who's inclined in following this truly entertaining series. And if I'm permitted to gush for a moment, Falling Skies was a la carte bounty of nuanced characters grappling with possible extinction, loss, courage, and smart-looking TV effects. Do yourself a favor and hack out some time in your busy schedule to give this truly forgotten sci-fi series a watch. I think that you'll be happy that you did. And there you have it, mis amigas y amigos. That's today's list. How do you feel about these video entries? Are any of these truly forgotten? Do you remember Falling Skies? Is Stargate Atlantis the best series in that franchise? Are you prone to judge the spots of Alien Nation unfavorably, or is it worth remembering? Sound off like you have a pair in the comments section. And thank you for all your feedback. I do try to interact with all of you, and I'm deeply appreciative of your support and interest in Noville. Don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. Subscribe and share to spread the word while staying a few steps ahead of the algorithm. And on that note, thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one.